Hello folks, this is Audiotron 1003 and this is a very unusual Lego video of mine. I've been in the roof and I've been looking for my old Lego from the early to mid 70s along with my space Lego and other such things. Now some of this stuff is mine, some of it is my younger brother's because as they grew up they went into things like Castle and Pirates, stuff like that. But because I'm 53 and I'm the oldest of all of us, my Lego goes back to the early 70s. Now in amongst all this lot there's some real treasures that certain people would like to get their hands on. And also I'm trying to sort of replace some of the dodgy parts on my vintage space Lego that I've got over there, but also dig out, this is what started it all, was I wanted to dig out the old base plates to make a proper setup, if you like, for my modern and vintage space Lego, which includes Benny's spaceship. So what I've been doing is, for example, there's a classic set over there where it's got a couple of these, but they're very old and yellowed, whereas this one, it's not, and it's from the same time period because I collected space Lego up until around about 1981-82. So as I'm going through all this, I'm sorting out things I think I might need. I need some old grey plates if possible, to link all these up together, and while I'm at it I'm looking at various old treasures. So I mentioned Benny's spaceship. Well, Benny flies that ship, but I've decided he needs a couple of assistants because he can't just be on his own. So this is an original. Is that going to focus? Let's see if we can do it this way. This is an original Benny. He has the thin chin strap. Well, it seems thin to me, because I didn't collect them later on when they changed. I'm trying to get this to focus, so let's see. There we go. And because I never played with my space sets, they just tended to be put on the shelf and displayed. I'm sort of hopefully going to dig out a few of these things. So that's not white, that's gold. See if I can get it to shine a little bit better. But anyway, I found that. I need to find air tanks for him or he can't breathe. While I was at it, I found these things. So we have printed original bricks from the time, lots of these. These things, which were also part of my space Lego collection. There's no point in me keeping them to rebuild all the sets because over the years things have got lost, but nonetheless I'll dig these out, and that's not mine. This was probably my brother's, probably from the Forestman sets, but because I come from Nottingham, United Kingdom, to me that looks like Robin Hood. He just needs a feather of some kind, and maybe a green hat instead of a brown one. So basically, that's another treasure I found. What else have I been looking at? Printed bricks like these. That's out of one of the famous space sets that I had. I had all three of them. 928, 918, and all that kind of thing. I ended up with all three of them. But these things, these are very sought after. These are weights for the old style boat hulls that I used to have way back when I was a child. And these things do float, especially if you put those things at the bottom. So what I am intending to do with this video is just have a look round and see what's what. Now I do know for a fact that, there we go, here's something. These are very rare, can't get those anymore unless you go on Bricklink. So I'm collecting a few of those. This was once probably one of my old spaceships. Probably built many years ago, because like I say, everything was just washed and dumped in this box and then it was left as is. A block of bricks, and these are the old style bricks. Some of them are chewed, it depends. The ones that have got bite marks are probably obviously much older because I bit them. That's definitely a 70s brick there, because the pip is on the side. They have thicker walls. They don't have any internal supports to stop them from warping, and they sound very different. I mean, I'm using quite a bit of force here to get these. I mean, look, I went through a phase of doing all kinds of things to these bricks. So, for example, there's a classic space wedge plate with the 1x1 cut out. Very useful for me. That's part of the Legoland Lego sets from way back. We have an old style trailer. We also have some relics that don't belong here. I call them relics, they're not really relics, they're more like imposters. My younger brother went for a phase of going through something called Tente, and my mother, being my mother, she stuffed him in here because as far as she was concerned, they were Lego. That's not Lego, never was, never will be. But it's in here, and there's a few bits and bobs. There's another space Lego. I know these are space Lego because I was the only one that had them, and the fire stations, the police stations, and all that kind of thing, that the early Legoland and the early Lego City, or pre-City, they never had these. What else have we got? So over here we have a white wedge base plate, wedge plate. I'm trying to see what else we've got. Over here, this thing, 16 long beam, Technic Lego beam. This was probably from the Lego fork truck from 1977, because I was the only one that had Technic. So if you see any red or yellow Technic in this lot, it's mine, because I was the one that collected it. So here's another one. So there's all sorts of stuff in here. Here's another one of those Tente brick things. So for what they were, they had their place, but I particularly wasn't bothered about them. It was Lego or nothing. There's a boat. Somewhere amongst all this lot is parts for the original pirate ship. That could be part of it. I've actually thrown a few things in the box, like those things there, so they're probably pirate ship things as well, because we're getting in the way. I was actually supposed to be looking for extra bennies and the red and white versions, but that's why I started all this, and now I've just found myself making some kind of little video just to show anyone out there what a collection of old Lego looks like. There's a horse. Now what else we got? There was another well, what you might call a Lego set that's not a Lego set, a clone set if you like, and that was these. And I know exactly how old these are, because I was 5 years old. It was my birthday when I was given a set of these. It was a small set of basic bricks. They came in red, yellow, blue, and I've seen a white one in here somewhere. So the standard old-fashioned colours, no greys, no transparents. So basically just 4 colours. And it was 1972 when these appeared in my collection. I have a few of them knocking around, and mostly in here, and never liked them. I complained at the time because my grandfather thought he was doing me a favour, but in fact he was cheaping out on me. So even at the age of 5, I was already committed to Lego or nothing. So that's what they are. Over here, a printed grill brick. Okay, so we've got all sorts of stuff here. There's a broken ladder. We've got a chewed up tree. So if I move around here, here's a very early Lego minifigure. Probably a princess or something from a castle. Speaking of knights and medieval people, there's one. So, original style plates. They're more like bricks, but back in the day we used these for plates. This is a 10 by 20 plate. They came in various colours. Here's another one. This is also Lego, but it's broken. And this was an earlier version of this one. There's no tubes underneath. So that was a later edition. This was the earlier one. These came in grey and all sorts. This plate or whatever you want to call it, 10 by 20 brick, that was the clone version of those. So those clone bricks I showed you, there's one there. Well, that's their version of those. So anyway, I won't bore you too much. It was just a sort of an idea to show you what was around back then. So axle bricks, long before you got the modern wheels and tyres system. So this thing here would either fit in this way or this way. If you stuck it on the side, for example, and took the tyre off, you got a very primitive way of making, for example, a windmill. You'd stick studs there, so you'd have a kind of a studs on side sort of build, and a broken fork truck. That element is probably useful on its own for someone who may have the rest of it but not have this. So anyway, it's just a small look at this mess that I've created for myself. But anyway, just wanted to share this, get this out there. So if anyone is interested, this is some Lego from way back, long before the 90s, and in some cases long before the 80s. Because this day and age, everybody considers things around about the year 2000 or the 90s as vintage Lego. Well, in amongst this lot, there's stuff that goes back far earlier than that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.